I'm Chris.
I'm Craig.
Welcome back to our channel, and today we're going to do our review for Jungle Book.
Alright guys, so this is Disney's Jungle Book. There still may or may not be another one out next year, but this is the live-action remake of the classic cartoon. I mean, this is Mowgli, this is Baloo, this is the jungle, King Louie, the singing, the dancing, all that stuff that you knew and loved as a kid, and Disney came in and remade it, and here we are. So, I mean, you already know the story. It's not really worth going back into. I mean, if you didn't know the animation, you go watch it, because you should, because it's fun and it's an awesome cartoon. But essentially this boy Mowgli, it's very much a Tarzan-like story. He's in the jungle, he gets raised by animals, specifically wolves, and there's a tiger named Shere Khan that has it out for him, and then it's kind of his adventures with these animals while being pursued by Shere Khan and finding his place in the jungle, in life, and nature, everything, and all the things that happen. It's not that crazy of a story. You've seen the cartoon, so this is just the movie. So what do you think?
Well, this was on both of our most anticipated list for this year, and you know the hype for this movie with the CGI, the voice actors. I have to say it didn't disappoint. The CGI was great in this movie. If you didn't know, this kid who plays Mowgli was there by himself. He was the only actor in the studio. It was actually filmed in the studio, not even in the jungle, but you couldn't even tell in the movie. But overall, the movie was great, a good retake of the film. Growing up, I watched the Jungle Book cartoon, and I liked it. The music, just the whole story of it, and I like this new, fresh take that Disney did. So overall, it was a great movie.
Yeah, and I really liked it as well, and I'll second some of the things he said. I mean, the visuals are great. This is, I mean, when you consider that this is all CGI, and you look at some of the Final Fantasy movies and all these CGI movies, that some of them look so fake. They look so flat. They look so lifeless. This doesn't. I mean, actually, next to Good Dinosaur, this is probably some of the best uses of CGI in terms of doing landscape and actual geography and even animals, which is something that I was concerned about because you do see the animal's mouths move, and that was something I was really worried that would take me out, and it actually really didn't. There were a couple of times I was like, that looks a little goofy, but it still looked great. And like you said, this is a very honest, it is different, slightly different, but it is a very honest retelling that captures a lot of the same magic that the original one did. It is darker. This is much more for adults. This isn't like a 5 and under kind of movie. I would say this is something you should probably not be exposing kids to unless they're maybe 8 or older, maybe a very mature 7, but there are some dark moments in this that I guess you could say it's not unlike a cartoon movie that address those, but when you see these seemingly real things, it does make it a little more like, ooh. Like
Shere Khan, he's definitely a villain in this. In the cartoon version, he wasn't that menacing, but in this, Idris Elba did the voice of Shere Khan, and he did a great job as Shere Khan. And like he said, it's a little different from the cartoon, but it's a good updated version. And all the voice actors, Christopher Walken, King Louie, Bill Murray as Baloo, Ben Kinsgley as Bagheera. Scarlett Johansson was Cobb, but you see her in the trailer, but if you're familiar with the cartoon, you'll know she's not too much in the movie. But other than that, I think everyone in the movie did a great job voicing the characters.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. I would be a little more on the negative side here, not without going into spoilers. It's some of the voices I didn't necessarily think were the best fits. It's not that their performance was off. I just didn't think it necessarily fit the character that well, and they changed some of the characters in certain ways to make them adapt the personalities of the voice actors. And while that does blend together very well, I don't feel that it had the impact on the story that the original characters could. And I won't necessarily say specifically as to why, but even like Bill Murray, that's Bill Murray as a bear. It's very much, and I love Bill Murray. I have shirts with Bill Murray on them, but that doesn't necessarily fit Baloo. So when it comes to like his relationship with Mowgli, it doesn't feel as endearing as it could. It doesn't feel as emotional as it did even in the cartoon. So I thought Bill Murray does great with it. It didn't have that impact that I wanted it to. Ben Kinsgley, I thought did. Yeah. Now, Ben Kinsgley, I liked that relationship with Bagheera, but like Baloo's such a big role, and it didn't really buy that connection as much. Elba, it worked really well. Scarlett Johansson, that was kind of disappointment that she wasn't in it more. I know Kyle's not the main character, but
Lupita Nyong'o, she fit that role.
And that was another really good fit. That worked really well. Walken's King Louie, and then going back to that again, he's Walken. Sometimes you gotta love him, but it was way too much Walken at moments as well. This isn't a spoiler because you see it in the trailer. I didn't like that they made him enormous. They made him like King Kong sized.
He was pretty big,
and it makes for a fun scene kind of, but I'll be honest, that scene took me out. Like the whole temple stuff, there were a lot of things with that kind of took me out of it. Some moments like that, and some others that I don't want to go into spoiler, really nitpicking detail, but it did affect my viewing of it a little bit just because it took me out of it at moments.
Yeah. So. I don't have too many negatives. Actually, I don't really have negatives. They're more like nitpicking. I have to go with you. Some of the scenes with the animals and, they were like with Bill Murray and Christopher Walken. I see what you were saying with there. Slightly agree with that. Kind of was Bill Murray.
Yeah.
The kid who played Mowgli, some of the scenes, he's the only kid there. He did a great job, but there are a few scenes where you can tell he was the only person on.
And I feel for the kid because look, you're either acting against nothing or a guy in a green suit, and this is his first movie, big movie. So I mean, what are you gonna do? I think that's about it without going into crazy nitpicking and or spoiler details. So what do you think?
I'm gonna give this movie a 9.2.
Oh wow! Except for Star Wars, you're always way more positive than me. I'm going significantly lower actually. I'm gonna go with an 8.1. I still really like this, but there were just a lot of moments that. And you know what? I'll be honest. The Jungle Book wasn't my favorite Disney movie as a kid. It's one of those movies I loved younger, but every subsequent viewing as I got like 3 to 5 years older, I'm like, I like this less. Kind of like Sword in the Stone. And maybe that is partially taken away because I'm a grumpy adult now and not a fun kid anymore. So sorry, but I think that's about it.
Yep.
Go see it. It's so much fun. I mean, Zootopia and this, they're hitting it out of the park. And like I said, if you enjoyed this, actually, it wouldn't even be bad to revisit, especially the visuals. Good Dinosaur, which didn't get a lot of love because that's all CGI as well. And that movie looks great. I think that's all we got.
Thanks for watching. Like, comment, tell us what you think.
Thanks.